Hey everybody, this is Modesta Megan beginning from Purpose and Excellence. I need to get my lighting right. We are talking about stopping procrastinating, and my computer was procrastinating today. I got on a different device and it's been acting up, and I've had to change browsers for a little bit. So I am so sorry to everybody who showed up on time. Please do forgive me. Look, I'm going to get off screen for a second and then I'll get back on. Oh, actually, let me just stay. This topic is live. This topic is really, really crucial. If you find yourself rushed, if you find yourself kind of reluctant to do something, like you're leaving it up to the last minute, and the last minute you're just doing what you have to just to have it submitted, or if you find that people exclude you on the team because they know you to be the person who's always leaving things last minute, this one is for you. Because chronic procrastination, okay, fine, it doesn't have to be chronic, but if you find yourself constantly procrastinating on something, there's a deeper underlying issue that's at play that maybe you have not taken note of. So let me tell you. Guess who I'm the purpose lady, right? I'm just going to talk about purpose. And the first thing is, it could well be, and I've written these things down, so I want to read them out to you. The first thing could well be that you don't really find meaning in what you do. And so to you, it is a chore. It is unwelcome. You don't want it. And so you just kind of drag yourself through it. And maybe it's time to stop and think. So today, there's a lot of stopping and thinking. Today, there is a lot of get a pen and notepad and write these things down or think these things through. I'm looking like Tina Turner out here. Hey, guys, let me be. This is a sacrifice for me, but because I love it, I keep showing up. So could it be that you don't find meaning in what you do? Could it be that you're not at all moved? Like, this is just a thing I do to make money with this. This is just a thing that I do because I've been asked to, because they say I'm really great at it. Do you know that you could be really good at something that you have absolutely no interest in? Yeah, look at that. You could be the best at a thing and it doesn't move you, and therefore doing it is still a chore. So it's not just the things that you can't do that maybe you're running away from them. Even the things that you can, and you can do them very well, you just don't want to get in it because your heart is not in it. So the first thing I need you to ask yourself is why? Why are you doing this thing? Not why you're procrastinating, but why are you doing this thing? What is the motivation behind it? It could well be that, oh, well, it's my role. I got this job. This is what I have to do. It could be, well, in the family as the firstborn, or I don't know, whatever it is. Or I am the only one who is working and who's really stable, and so I have to do this for the rest of my siblings or my parents or whatever it is. Find the reason why you may not find meaning in this, why you resent doing this, why you're dragging your feet, and then deal with it. Listen, I'm all about getting strategies. I mean, here it is. Here you are stuck. But being stuck isn't the final position you're in. You can get unstuck, but only if you look at a thing in the face and you address it. So look at this thing in the face. What are you facing? What is before you? What is the reason why you procrastinate? What is the reason why you don't find meaning in this? So let me use the job aspect. Let's say, look, I just took a job to pay the bills. Truly. Like I am not in this thing at all. I am marking time until, something that I find more meaningful, something I find more fulfilling comes along. So then sit down and say, when will that other thing come through? If you are actively searching right now, for instance, so let's say you got a job just to pay the bills, and you're actively searching right now for something else as you're doing this, and so you're kind of like half there, half not, because to you it's a stepping stone to something else. I want you to understand this. How you deliver, how you perform here can make or break your next opportunity. And so rather than seeing it as a halfway house, I'm just going to do what I have to do, until I get out of here, why don't you seize the opportunity? I mean, you are here, right? You are showing up daily. Really show up. Show up and deliver the best that you can. So one of two things will happen. Either by giving it your all of a sudden things could change for you. I mean, you might find the environment transforming for you because people are coming to you for expert advice, because, you're getting access to decision making. You could well get a raise. A lot of amazing things could happen. Or you could so sharpen your skills. You could so position, because listen, in businesses, we're also networking, right? Internally and externally. You could so position in your industry that not only are you sneaking around trying to get the next opportunity, you will get people happily recommending you, saying, we are so sad to see you leave, but we're so happy for you. And they will tell anybody that comes, close to you, anybody that is interested in you, this is the man or this is the woman for the job. They have done wonders with us. We are confident that we'll do something great with you. So do not take it lightly. Even if you don't find meaning and you're looking for another opportunity, make the most of this. I recently had someone, and I may have given this example before, who doesn't like the pay and the terms of where they are, and said, honestly, it doesn't even pay enough for me to give my all. I said, listen, giving your all is your brand. Giving your all is a sign of excellence. It's a mark of excellence that you walk around with. You don't give your all because the pay is right. You give your all even if the pay isn't right. You give your all even if they've cheated you. You give your all because that is who you are. Integrity is not. I just had a conversation with one of my daughters. She was giving her sister an attitude, and I said, don't do this. She said, but she had done this to me before. I said, as leaders, we do the right thing regardless of what people do. So you carry that internal environment of showing up and showing up good regardless of what the culture is like. Some people say that's just the culture. Nobody will even notice that I'm late. Nobody will even notice that this has mistakes. Nobody even notices. People couldn't even care less. So why should I exert all this energy trying to give them my own when they're like themselves? No, because that's who you are. And doing that here will be the seeds that you sow into getting greater reviews, greater recommendations, greater opportunities later. All right, so that's one. So just in case you're procrastinating because your heart is not in it, first you need to know where your heart is. And then you need to make a plan to get to where your heart is. Honestly, find purpose. Discover your purpose. Know why you're put here on earth. And when I talk about these things, and you guys know I'm a woman of faith, it isn't a thing about religion, by the way. Just in case you think that I'm trying to bring in some Christianity into this mix. Not that I'm not. But this is the thing. Finding your purpose isn't just finding, what God put you here to do so that you can serve God. And that's a major thing. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But guess what? Finding your purpose, you also find that which you are wired to do. Because that which God put you on earth to do is exactly what you're wired to do. You come here, I was talking about this yesterday in another video, fully equipped. So you come, you have the desires to do what you do. So some people don't even notice time going by when they're doing the thing, like their sweet spot. They're in their zone. You come here with the desire. You come here with the skills. You are not dropped on the earth to kind of figure it out as you go. You are here fully equipped. You just need to know how to refine it, package it, and put it to market, so to speak. But you're fully equipped for this. Let me just tilt my screen a little bit and zoom it up. Right? So discovering your purpose isn't just a wishy-washy spiritual thing. Discovering your purpose is so key to stop you procrastinating. Because then you don't bother going for things, opportunities that have nothing to do with what you love to do, with the impact that you want to have, with the influence that you want to exert around you. We all know that purpose is about serving more than self, right? So that you're called to people, that you're called to influence other people, to join you in this thing. You know how people say, you write the vision and you make it plain, and other people catch that, they catch that vision, and that vision resonates with what they're doing. So the only way you can get to a position where, yes, you're getting the income that you want, and you're influencing others towards a certain, a common objective, a great objective that you really believe in, a cause you believe in, and you're having impact, is starting with purpose. Why am I here? What kind of things do I feel like I really want to make a difference in? What kind of challenges do I want to address, in society? What kind of transformation would I like my life to have marked? What kind of legacy would I like my life to have left? And then you seek opportunities in those areas. I remember this at university, and I'm not saying this against anybody who's doing anything else. So when I was at university 50 million years ago, my people, 50 million years ago, I am going back, but it was a while, my first degree. And I was, with during holidays, I would go and live with my cousin, and her and her friends, were working wherever they could. And these people have certification. And I was like, no, I will do something aligned with my studies. Now, get this, I'm like first year, second year university student. It's not like I have that experience. I did a law degree, that experience in law. But I'm thinking, no, I am not going to work. I can't say because you guys are going to feel offended. I don't want to offend you. But, I'm not going to do it. It's not like it was illegal, unethical. But it's just, they could have done different. They could have done better. But I guess that didn't occur to them. And so I have always said, okay, what do I find meaning? Reason why I got into law was to help women and children. So I got work in the city council of the city that we're in to work with refugee women and children. And fine, I didn't do anything glamorous. I was supporting social workers and caseworkers. And what else did I get to do? I guess I got to hand out their vouch, apart from supporting them and doing the admin and going through their cases with them. I didn't ever get to represent anything. And then I think I would give out the vouchers for meals or whatever it is that they needed as their allowance, and that was the most contact I had, with refugee women and children. But point is, I had an 8 to 5 job. I wasn't doing midnight hours somewhere. I wasn't exerting myself in things. Not that I pick. The people who know me, like, I do whatever it takes that is legal and ethical, but I could choose to do what moved me. And so my purpose is to equip people and to represent them legally where need be. And so I did that all along. And I was 19, 20 years old. So you have that choice too. If you're feeling like I'm procrastinating, but does it truly? Because I'm not here. So I don't even bother. Well, then look for where you are and then understand how you deliver here where you don't want to be, will make or break your next opportunity. You want good recommendations, you want a great network, you want good referrals. So give your all, even if you're doing it with gritted teeth. Serves you right for getting something that you didn't want to in the first place. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Number 2, maybe your life is cluttered. Maybe this isn't about just where you are right now. Maybe this is a thing you've had your entire life. Did you see it with your parents? Was life cluttered? Were you guys always rushing with things everywhere? You couldn't find them? Is that the culture that you grew up in? Because sometimes, we're a product of our culture and socialization. So could it be, look at me, my gosh, could it be that you're just a person that is disorganized, a person that is cluttered? So again, with pen and paper, taking time away, ask yourself, what do I do with my 24 hours? What is my environment like around me? And so you could find, okay, so I stay up till late. I watch that series. I like that series. Like, I'm watching the Blacklist, guys. And Red, anyway, it's another story for another day. People are like, that heathen. I'm not no heathen. I'm watching the Blacklist at the moment, and I will watch it later times. So, do you think that you're procrastinating because you stay up late, mornings are difficult, or you have to get the entire family ready and you're doing the runs, dropping everybody before you get there, and you're all waking up within a few minutes of when you need to leave the door? Or is your house so cluttered you spend 20 minutes looking for the keys? This is what I've done, like a little organization thing. I have a friend. She's super at organizing. Pumla, she'd be so proud of me. I have I have these little pots and they look nice. So there's a pot for pens and pencils and sharpeners and erasers. There's a pot for keys. So as soon as you walk into the house, like put your things there so that when it's time to leave and you've got short notice, you know where it is. If it's things for the kids, we'll put them in a certain cabinet. So my husband and I are not looking for each other, asking for each other. Just yesterday, we were talking about their health cards that we'll put them all together, so I don't stay with them in case I'm not there. I digress, but listen to this. In case I'm not there, he can get them. And these are the little things. So you don't spend time asking each other, getting mad at each other, wasting time. You might have to look at your life and see what needs to be rearranged. Do I need to start getting boxes? Do I need to start getting a filing system? We have little what are they? They're like magazine racks we've turned into cases where the kids can put homework that's just come in for parents to look at, and this is what you're taking back to school. And that could help you to stop procrastinating because I can't find the thing. Another reason why you procrastinate could well be that you feel like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I am not sure, impulsive syndrome. I am not sure I have what it takes. And so you're dragging it. Maybe you're scared of going to ask a person who you think is an expert in this area, and they will be so surprised and so disappointed at the extent of your ignorance. Which, by the way, people are more understanding than you think. Nobody's going to go, you don't know that? Then what do you know in life? No, people are like, oh, all right, cool. So I'll let you know what it takes. And so could it be that you don't know what to do? And I kind of like jumping up and down and going around and chasing your tail, wondering, where do I start? Well, ask someone. The easiest thing, honestly, these days, Google it, go to YouTube, find a video on it, ask somebody in the area. I ask all the time. I ask the extent that my husband's like, stop bothering people. I don't know it. You do. I'm not going to go get a whole certification in it. I'm not going to do a course. So I'll come to you. Could you please tell me, a little bit more about this area? I'm looking to do this. And of course, you tell people how much you've gone in your research and what you've done thus far. And you say, could you please, help me get unstuck? And I have a lot of these requests. And just one conversation with a mentor or coach, with a person who's experienced in that area, and it completely, gets you unstuck, changes your trajectory. Maybe you're looking this way, changes to another way, and you can move on. But procrastination often is also that a person feels as if I don't know where to start, and I don't know what people will think if I admit that I am completely lost in this area. Which brings me to the fourth point. So number one was you procrastinate because you're not in it, and so discover your purpose. Find out why you're here and what you do find meaning in, and engage in that. And whilst then you're transitioning to that, do the best you can right now so that you have the good referrals and networks to leverage from when you get there. The second thing is you could well just have a very cluttered life. And if your life is cluttered, then start organizing it so that things are exactly where you last thought you left them. No, they're actually exactly where you did leave them. Wake up earlier if you need to, sleep earlier where you need to. Get a system not just for you, but also for for the rest of your family. Do it together. I have a client who wants to get somewhere in his career and his influence, but he's getting his wife and kids aligned with this because he understands they're with him forever, and how they are influences how he delivers in the marketplace. And so he's getting them up in health, in engagement, even in the things that he does, so that they understand what he's doing, and also to encourage his kids to one day want to join him and his wife in the business. And then the other thing, what did I mention? Look at me now. Am I cluttered? Am I cluttered? Where are my points? Is that maybe you don't have the knowledge, and that scares you. Like, I don't know where to start, and that's why I'm procrastinating. I dread looking at this thing because what if I find out I'm more ignorant than I thought? What if I find out that it takes more than I'm ready to invest? What if I find out that I'm not cut out for it? Listen, why don't you ask? The first step in that instance to stop procrastinating, go find out. If you fear that something's going to happen, the sooner I find out, the better. Honestly, the sooner I find out, the better. So I want to find out right now if I don't have what it takes, so that I can cut my losses. I can let people know who are expecting something from me that I can't. I'm not cut out for this, and I've done that. Like, hey, look, I underestimated this thing, or I overestimated, or I thought this would make sense for me in terms of the returns it brings. This doesn't make business sense to me. So no, I'm sorry, I can't engage. You can recant. Obviously, you do it with tact, you do it with wisdom, and you do it professionally in such a way that, that you can continue the relations, and maybe you can support in another area so that you don't sound like a complete unprofessional. And then now the fourth thing is, could it be that you are scared of disappointing someone, or you want to impress someone? Could it be that the reason why you procrastinate is a people thing? That what if I do that and I give the impression to those people that, somebody in their conversation, oh my goodness, and I forgot to actually catch this out because I was listening to them. They were talking about what they want to do, and they said, and I know that's someone else's area. So apparently in their market, somebody else was doing that. And they said, yeah, but that's really what I want to do, even if it's someone else's area. And I said, no area is anybody else's area. Listen, let me debunk this myth right now. Let me just bust your bubble right now, real quick. For the people who think that people are out to steal your ideas, although some people are, and it's happened to me, listen, an idea is dropped in time. Whoever catches it, you can kind of see, you know how things are a building block to the next thing, things, innovations go and they progress. Rarely will you get something that is just completely off, like the light bulb, completely off, or, like the airplane. But the rest of the things, you kind of get one, and somebody can see that the next level, the next model up, the next solution would be this, and that idea gets dropped to so many people. I've had so many incidences where I was thinking of doing a thing, and then I speak to people, and they're like, yeah, so my friend so and so is doing that, and I read this periodical where these people are doing that, and in this, I'm like, wait a second, I thought I came up with that. I thought I was the only person on planet Earth. No, you are not. And so do not worry about doing something and procrastinating, not getting to something, because what if some people think I'm copying so and so? What if these people think, oh, I've changed? Like, who am I to try to get into that area? So whether you are fearful of people thinking you have changed, you're faking that you're something you are not, or you're going into an area which they find to be scandalous, or they think, who are you to do that? Nobody that looks like us has done that. We thought you were, because this is the other thing that people do. God bless people. People will box you in. And so as long as you have something in common with them, they will say you belong to us. And then you might have something else in common with other people, and they think you belong to, but you don't belong anywhere. You belong to God. And so whatever it is that you want to do what you want to do. Stop thinking about what people say or will not say. People will say what people will say anyway. People do what people do. We're people, we do that. So you're not going to procrastinate on something that could potentially be something so great that once you venture out, you realize there was actually absolutely nothing to fear. Nobody cared less. Do not procrastinate wondering what my parents will think, what my religious leader will think, what will the women think, what will the men think, what will people my age think. Another client of mine was saying, most people my age are not like me. Most people my age are not doing this. So she gets jitters even putting her things out on Instagram, because she can already hear what the women her age would say. Yet what she wants to do, that the fact that she's gone ahead of others, is so that she can lift them up. Now listen, this is something I was told 15 years ago almost. For as long as you care, actually it was less than that, for as long as you care what people are thinking, and that, it is too hard to go ahead and be the pioneer, be the trailblazer, and you will be misunderstood. You are the person who will have to be held accountable, who God will hold accountable, who your generation will hold accountable for holding out on all these skills and competencies and this vision that you have, simply because you want to align and you want to fit in with everybody else. When you are actually meant, and I remember this cartoon, Home, he's like, I don't fit in, I fit out. You're meant to fit out. You're meant to stand out. You're meant to be the difference, so that you can pull them up to the next level. And so if you're procrastinating because you're wondering, what will they say, what will they think? First of all, I'll let you know. People have their own stuff. Half the time, they're not really thinking about you. Secondly, people will say what people will say. And thirdly, you might just find out when you go out and venture into this thing, it wasn't as I feared. It wasn't as bad as I thought. Things are never as bad as you think. Most of the mess is all in your mind. Most of the what if, who will say, who will do, you'd be surprised how many people will support you. I was just talking about this, I think in another video. I'm just thinking, was it in class or another video? In another video. And I was saying to someone that I was told, stop sharing your stories, like they sound big and grand, and I'm talking about stories of pain, right? So people tell me, stop sharing your stories of pain. First of all, you're exposing yourself. Secondly, It's, it's really just to get attention. And you know what? First, I didn't stop, as you guys know. I didn't stop, saying myself. I didn't stop talking about my struggles. I will tell you my wins and also tell you in areas where I'm like, hey, God, please help, because I've had this going on for decades. What happens when I share my story, especially stories of pain and stories of, things are going well, is that people are like, oh, Modesta, you too? Because I am going through that. Because I've had that my entire life. Because that has actually made me procrastinate. That's made me fear venturing out. Because then people will say, oh, we thought she was perfect. We thought she had it together. We thought she was the expert. She's going through that too. Then, well, no, people actually completely understand. And people would be receptive to supporting you. You would be surprised when you venture out in this thing that you're currently so fearful and procrastinating over, how many people would be grateful, how many people would get solutions, how many people will cross because you had the courage to step out, even if you don't have it all together. So stop procrastinating, step out. You would be surprised what the response will be. And listen, when you know your why it is you're doing what you're doing, that you're not doing it just for the sake of it. You're doing it to actually transform lives. You're doing it to change the generation that you were placed on earth. It won't really matter what people say. Because what people say and do about me, I can't help them. I will love them and I will continue engaging with them. But I'm not answerable to them. I'm answerable to God. I'm answerable to this generation. I'm answerable to the African professionals that must be globally competitive, because this continent is going to lead the world's economy. And Africans will have to be at the helm of that. I'm answerable to that. And so, because I know my purpose, as soon as the thing comes to me, I will do that thing. I will hold myself accountable. All right. What else? Sometimes we falsely assume, number 5, we falsely assume, oh, I've got time. This is why we procrastinate. I've got this. I've got that. It doesn't take that much. Why is my laptop? My laptop is like singing to me. It's hissing. I've got time. I'll get to it. So either you overestimate how much time you have, or you underestimate the workload. And at the end, you're rushing last minute. You're producing work you haven't even checked through. You're producing work, that is late. You're penalized. You're producing work. Sometimes it's not even relevant because you didn't get somebody else's opinion on it, and you weren't able to improve it. Give yourself margin. I urge you. Don't have things back to back. Okay, so I sometimes have things back to back. That way I can finish this and quickly get on to the next thing. I want to be on a roll. I want to be efficient. And if it's seeing clients one after the other, and that way it actually also restricts the conversations, because sometimes you can't you can't make people stop. So you're like, look, we've got this till this. I've got another appointment. So you quickly get it done. Give yourself margin. Consider what it takes to get out of the house. Consider traffic. Consider that life will happen. Maybe, I don't know, the roads are blocked because there's an ambulance going through, or maybe some dignitaries in town and moving, or whatever it is that could block traffic. Consider all those things. Consider jams. Consider accidents. Consider life happens, and give margin. And then when you're doing something, with colleagues, in community, give yourself enough time to give someone something to look at it and be able to come back to you with constructive feedback. There are times somebody will say, hey, can you help me with something? It's due today. Like, I was just sitting here, twiddling my thumbs with nothing else to do in life but wait for you to come with your very urgent submission for me to look at. No, I also have a life of my own and things of my own to do. And so if you want to produce quality, meaningful work that is going to impact, then give yourself time to really assess what is before you, what it takes. And the fact that you would also want somebody else to go through it and get another angle, another person's point of view for you to improve it. Consider all of that. So if I am taking this number of days and I have done it, and now I have to forward it to so-and-so, maybe so-and-so might have things to do. Actually, let the person know in advance, on this date, I'll come to you, I'll send this thing to you. Could you please make the time to do that? And how much time do you need? And that way you already know, you can already factor in, I will give this to them on this date, and they told me they need 2 days to go through it. So whatever I am doing, I need to be ready by that date and then give them 2 days before I can get it back. Look at what they've done. Because listen, when something is your original work and you just want somebody else's input on it, you're not just going to get their input and then submit it. You need to see what they did. It is your original work. You're going to be held accountable for it. You cannot have anything written there, anything done on it that you weren't aware of, because you did say it is your work. And so if you're going to get input from people, I mean, do not get people to do your work, but if you're going to get input from people, then you have to also see what their input is. So I often urge people, can you go through, when you're working with me, go through this thing so that it is you. It sounds like you. Look at my comments. And I also, would rather comment than change a document, unless, the work is to change document. So that you can see what I'm asking you to do for yourself. And that way you won't come back another time. So that's just a tip. This is how you can start procrastinating. But honestly, in summary, as I close, it starts with purpose. Know who you are, why you are here, what kind of things that absolutely thrill you and you find meaningful to do. And some things, maybe they don't thrill you, but they're really meaningful for you to do. They're a need to do so that later you can do what you want to do. Engage in those areas, which means then you will have to build a support system of other people to do the other things. So I am a mother, right? I am a mother, I am a wife, I am consulting, I'm coaching, I have several hats that I wear. If everything is on me to do, I will fall apart. Yes, I will procrastinate. Yes, I will drop some balls. And so this is where your support system comes in. When you are clear about who you are, why you are here, what it is you want to do, get into building a system so that you're able to do it. Do what only you need to do and do it the best that you can. And prepare other people. I tell people delegation, this is another topic we're going to address one day. Delegation involves a whole lot more than just asking someone else to do. You need to prepare that person to do things just as well as you do. Otherwise, you will find that work comes back to you and you have to do it all over again. So if you don't want to procrastinate, you need to know what it is that you love to do. You need to know why you're here, and you do that. But you then also need to build around you a team of people, whether it's at home, in a work context, your business, ministry, whatever. You need to build up people and actually invest in them to have the aptitude, the competencies to be able to deliver. So that you're just doing what you need to do. They're doing what they're there to do, to support you. And you can always deliver excellence, deliver it timely, deliver it, to utmost satisfaction. If you have been procrastinating, there is a deeper root as to why that is. It's something entrenches why that is. The first thing is purpose. And then, looking at your life around you, organize your life. Give yourself permission to go after what you want to go after. So what if you don't have all the knowledge that you need at the beginning? Whoever did? I want to know. Please do tell me one person who knows everything about everything. Not one. So start when you start. Don't procrastinate. Start now. Start with what you know. Ask somebody else. Don't, some people say, okay, so I'm going to go back to school. I will, wait until I get the funding to go back to school, and then I'll come back to this. You're not going to do that. I mean, I'm not saying you're going to get the funding. Yes, you will, but you don't have to wait until you get the funding for school, do the school, come back. You can actually ask someone. There's so many ways of hacking knowledge. You can YouTube, you can Google, you can ask people, you can join a group, an association in these areas, and you get industry input. People who've been there, who've done it for decades, people who've probably even created the frameworks and the models of doing things, and you get access to them and their wisdom and their knowledge and their networks. Don't procrastinate on what you have to do. If you're in the wrong place, make a plan to get out and go to where. But don't just go anywhere else. Don't just chase the money. Go to where you find meaning. Go to where you will gladly show up. Listen, why aren't we late to catch a bus that's leaving a certain time, to catch a flight, to catch, I don't know, why aren't we late for a court case? Why aren't we late? I'm trying to think of other things. It's because we know that is really important, and there are consequences. Maybe sometimes, and this is why I announce things before time. I want to be held accountable. I want you guys to hold me accountable. and I want to be penalized where I don't keep my word. And how do we penalize you, Modesta? Well, you just shut me off. Like, I keep saying a bunch of things that I don't deliver, and then goodbye, Modesta. Like, and I want somebody to hold me accountable. I literally looked for a couple and I asked, the lady if they could, watch over me, because I'm always on social media and they're on social media, and also over my husband and I. Why? Because I want people to hold us accountable. So start today. First thing you do on this thing of stopping to procrastinate is take time off with a pen and paper and ask yourself, what is really going on? Is it that I really am not in this thing? Therefore, get out. Make a plan to get out. Is it that my life is so cluttered? I've got so much going on all the time that I cannot do a thing right. Then you need to start decluttering. You need to start looking at what is important for you to do, what you can have other people, where you can train other people to do for you. You can look at the why of doing all the different things that you're doing to make your life so cluttered. Maybe some of them is just peer pressure. Maybe some of them is guilt and shame. I feel responsible for, these people because I don't know. You need to quit that. You're driving yourself crazy and you're impacting your personal brand. You're impacting your performance. You're impacting relationships. There are times if you're always the weakest link in a team, they're always late. Their work is never proofread. You're affecting the output of the entire team. You're affecting the morale. Sometimes you might even have caused people to lose out on opportunities because of your chronic procrastination. Really think through your life and then reorganize your life, redesign your life to what makes sense for you. If you need to come up with systems, to be more organized, do that. Invest in doing that. It doesn't even have to be expensive. Just little boxes. You can use a shoe box to arrange certain things. If it's people, people will be people. Do what you need to do. If it's knowledge, find the knowledge. So right now, you are going to take time off. You're going to assess your 24 hours. You're going to look at what you're doing and ask, what is it that I can combine with something else so that I can save time? What is it that I can condense that I don't need to spend this much time watching series, this much time talking on the phone, this much time scrolling the internet? What is it that I can completely clear? Like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this out of guilt, out of shame. Clear it. Clear it so that you have time to just do what is meaningful, what will have, will have influence, will have impact, what will give you the kind of income that you want, what will free you up, have the freedom to spend time with loved ones, have the freedom with the pursuits that you want, have the freedom to even create the hours you want. I work whatsoever hours I please. And not just because I'm an entrepreneur and this is my own thing. No, I would do that even engage elsewhere. I will negotiate what serves me and serves the organization. It is key that we do this. We are men and women of excellence. Procrastinating, mediocre work, always being late, always doing the minimum, these things sadly are associated with us as Africans, sadly. And that identity and that branding, that has to stop. And it will stop one person at a time. So you start with you. You make the changes that you need, and you be the change that other people need, because they will emulate you. People always gravitate towards the stronger person. They always gravitate towards the person who seems to have the solutions, who seems to have it together. And now you don't just shine amongst people, you now show the others what it takes. And then you will set this ripple effect. And pretty soon we have a critical mass of purpose-driven African leaders driving market results with excellence. Why? Because we know who we are, why we're here, what we need to do. We do what needs us to do, and we groom other people to do the rest of it. And we show up on time, we show up big, we give our all, and we execute with excellence. Africa is going to be the leading economic region in the world. And you and I, my friend, we have to get in position to get it there. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me today. Until next time, please do subscribe and share with other people. Somebody asked me, Modesta, are you teaching people skills, or are you teaching people how to think? In all honesty, I think it's how to think. Of course, there's an element of skills, but it's just that other angle. It's that strategy. And it may apply, it may be something different to you, but just to know that you have options. You have options to leave where you are if you find you're procrastinating. You have options to not do everything and actually get other people to do or only do the minimum for now. You have so many options of how you can design your life to get you where you need to go. But by all means, be deliberate, be intentional, be at the driver's seat. Don't just let life bash you any which way and you find yourself procrastinating because you're resentful, because you don't know, you feel ignorant, you feel weak, you feel judged, you feel just let's get out of our feelings and let's get out of our fears and actually sit down. Man up, people, men and women. Come on. Let's put a big girl, big boy pants up and let us be very, very intentional about designing the life that we want, the experiences we want to have, and we want other people to have with us. And then let's be the change that people need. Let's go out and spread this message. Let's go out and show people the how that we have discovered ourselves. All right, have a wonderful time. Until next time, it's me, Modesta Michael Mugudi, because you guys know I can go on and on and on and on. Go to modesta.africa to see how you can engage with me. Or you can email me on hello@modesta.africa. And if you're interested in learning about what it takes to get unstuck, what it takes to put in those success strategies so you can see better outcomes in your life, I would encourage you to join the master plan class. So you can either contact me, you can send a message, or at hello@modesta.africa, or go to purposeandexcellence.africa/masterplan to find out more about the master plan class. And I can help you if you feel I'm procrastinating and it's affecting me. I don't have time. Somebody told me I don't have time for my wife and kids. My kids will call me mama, they'll call me uncle. My kids barely know me. And my wife said, I understand why you're doing what you're doing, to support everybody else. But what about us? Like at the beginning, this was about us. If you feel like you're struggling in these areas, please do reach out. I can help you not only design your work, business, career that is really meaningful, that will increase your income, your influence, and your impact. I will help you do it in such a way that you don't compromise your values and you don't compromise your family and you don't compromise the core of who you are, and the people that you're doing life with. All right. So until next time, much love. hello@modesta.africa, or go to modesta.africa. And for the master plan class, purposeandexcellence.africa/masterplan. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye.